Hey everybody. So I had a question around how to know what your next step is. How do you know? How do you know if it's the right step or what step to take, whether that's for making more money, getting more clients, losing weight, finding love, I don't care what it is. It's the same thing. The first thing you want to do is connect to soul, connect to your superhuman self. Most of us, when we're going to make a decision and we want to know what the next step is, we connect to our really human side. So the first thing you want to do, connect into your superhuman self and ask, what is my next step? Okay, and wait for it. Go about your day, surrender it. You will get your answer in some way, shape, or form. Okay, but the worst thing you can do is constantly go from a human perspective about what's my next step, because what's going to come up are all the crappy excuses about what could go wrong, why that's not a good idea, why you shouldn't do that, because it's all based upon your beliefs and your programs and your thought patterns. And it's not going to give you a clear and accurate answer. And you know what? Here's the secret tip today. You are not always going to know. Sometimes you're just not going to know if that next step is right. Again, as our human self, we want to have guarantees. We want to have it written in blood or something that it's going to pan out and it's going to turn out, and it just may not be like that. In fact, you may not even feel the vibe of it, feel the energy of it, whatever you want to say. You will not feel any of that. Maybe you won't feel it in your body. Maybe you just won't even get any signs or any sort of feedback whatsoever. So what do you do? What do you do? How do you decide from that space and place? As I said, connect in. Consciously choose to say, I am my superhuman self right now. I am my soul, and I'm asking for the next step. And I trust that I'm going to receive that. I know I am. And until I do, I'm going to make choices anyway. I'm going to decide that I don't even need to have any feedback. I don't need to feel any sensations, have any psychic feedback, have anything. Like, I don't need any sort of responses or feedback or anything in order to make my decision. Because if you're setting yourself up to decide that you need that, you will be waiting a very long time all the time to create the life you really want. Okay? You need to be choosing now that, hey, I decide that I don't need any of that to make my decision, to take my next step. I need none of it. Because I think, especially in the spiritual world, we tend to want to ritualize everything, don't we? Like, we want to create a ritual and we want to create a process and we want to create some sort of story or something around if we can have something or what we need to do. First of all, we have to wait for the full moon and we have to have these 5 crystals and we have to, start it at this time. We have to have this music and we have to have this invocation to say, and you get my idea, right? You get my drift. And we can laugh about it, right? Because I've done the same thing many times for years. I did that until I realized that I am the creator. I am choosing. I get to decide, not the moon, not Mercury retrograde, not a clear quartz crystal or a moldavite crystal or anything else. Okay, I get to decide and you get to decide. And that does not mean that you can't do any of those things. All I'm saying is, when someone's asking me, Helen, how do we know what the next step is? I'm telling you, you get to decide. Okay, yes, you ask yourself in superhuman self. How do you know when you're in superhuman self? You know because you're not going to hear all the millions of stories. You're just going to go like, honestly, ask yourself that now. If you're superhuman, if you're in your soul self and you're asking, you see that everything is available to you right now, everything, then what is the problem? What are the questions? If you know everything is available and you can have whatever you choose right now, what would you be doing? What actions would you be taking based upon that level of trust, that mindset, and that energy. Okay, really think about that. So that's how you know what the next step is. And you've then decided, if you don't know if you're even receiving anything, you're not feeling anything, you're not feeling zen, you're not feeling blissed out, you're not feeling peaceful, you're not feeling ripples of truth bumps through your body or whatever, like if you're not feeling anything, then you still decide that that's okay, you don't need anything, because you've trusted. You've said, like, what's my next step? Okay, I'm going to choose anyway, even if I'm unsure, even if I'm not receiving anything, I'm going to choose, because I know I am my soul. I am superhuman. Okay, you are the universe. So if you know that and you trust that, then you can choose anything. You can decide anything. Whatever your next step is, you get to choose it and you get to decide it. So can you see, that's a big, long, roundabout way of literally saying, if you have something that you want to choose for next step, you get to decide that you can do that, whatever that is. You don't even need the answer. You don't even need permission. You don't need a nudge, and you don't need anything. It's nice if you have that, but please, I really want you to stop feeling like you've got to wait for something, or wait for the right time, or do a ritual, or do a ceremony, or do something before you decide and you just act. Because the more you do that, and the more you see you are the universe and you are superhuman, you are your soul, and everything is available to you, every possibility, every timeline, everything in this galactic soup, then it's empowering. You realize you don't have to wait for anything. Okay, and the more you do that, the more the answers do flow, the more the solutions and the information does flow to you. Okay, so I hope that's helpful for you today, and I hope you have a fabulous day. I'll talk to you soon.